Good morning, Emperor Eagles. Happy Monday. I just wanted to say I hope you have a great week. I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. Make sure your camera is turned on, make sure your name is on the screen, and make sure your camera is pulled down so we can see your beautiful faces. We miss you and we have to see all of you, and when we only see from the eyes up, it's kind of like you're hiding under your desk. So we want to make sure that we can see all of you. Today's read aloud is a book called When Ruth Bader Ginsburg Chewed 100 Sticks of Gum. I don't know if you heard, but this weekend, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, and I wanted to tell you her story, and I thought this was an excellent book to do that. So this is by Mark Weekland, and the publisher is Capstone. So there's the book. It's a little bit longer, but I think it's totally worth it. Ruth Bader Ginsburg placed her left hand on the Bible. Next, she raised her right hand. She swore to uphold the law. Then she smiled. The audience, including the President of the United States, applauded. She was now a justice of the United States Supreme Court. Ruth was the first female Jewish American to sit on the court. She was also only the second woman to do so. She got there through study and hard work, and she knew that girls would follow in her footsteps. One day there will be many women as men sitting as judges in our country, she said. Ruth Bader was born March 15, 1933. Her parents, Nathan and Cecilia Bader, were Jewish immigrants from Russia. They had little money. The family rented the first floor of a small house in New York City. Baby Joan had one sister, Marilyn. Marilyn loved little Ruth. She tickled her belly. She made her yell and kick. "You're such a kicky baby," she said. "We're going to call you Kicky." Later, Joan would go by her middle name. There were several other Joans in her kindergarten class, but no other Ruths. Sadly, Marilyn and Ruth did not have much time together. Marilyn died when Ruth was 14 months old. Can you see that? The death of the daughter broke Cecilia Bader's heart, but she never stopped thinking about Ruth's future. She swore that Ruth would have a different life than hers. Cecilia had not gone to college. Her parents could only afford to send one child to college. They had sent her brother. Cecilia wanted Ruth to do well in school so she could grow into an independent adult. She did not want Ruth to grow up to rely on a man. What did Ruth want? She always wanted to make her mother happy. She always worked hard to get good grades. Ruth was left-handed, and her teacher tried to make her write with her other hand. But writing with her right hand was unnatural, so Ruth got a D in penmanship. "I'm never writing with my right hand again," she said. Do you know what happened? Ruth never did, and she never got another D in school. Ruth's parents worked hard. They wanted to give their daughter a bright future. Nathan sold furs and hats. Cecilia stayed at home to care for Ruth. She was careful with their funds. Any extra money was saved for Ruth's college. Ruth went shopping with her mother every day. While they ran errands, Celia gave her advice. She encouraged Ruth to think clearly. She told her to be true to herself. These talks made an impression on Ruth. "I love you, Mama. You're the bravest and strongest person I know." Ruth's mother was a wonderful role model, but Ruth also often found strong female role models in the books she read. Ruth loved to read about Amelia Earhart, a real-life pilot. Amelia was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. Nancy Drew was another favorite. Nancy was a detective who solved mysteries. "Kiki, why do you love Nancy so much?" asked her mother. "She isn't even real." Nancy was an adventurer who could think for herself, Ruth said. Ruth loved storytelling. She entertained her cousins with dramas she made up. She also read poetry aloud. One of her favorites was The Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. Another was a poem on the base of the Statue of Liberty. Ruth knew all the words. "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free." Ruth also liked the outdoors. All the kids in Brooklyn neighborhood played on the street. They ran, roller skated, and jump rope. The fun lasted till dark. Ruth's best friend was Marilyn. She invited Ruth to join her family for dinner. The food was often spaghetti and meatballs. At Ruth's house, the girls played jacks on the front steps. Life in the city was not all fun and games. Ruth grew up in America was when Ruth grew up in America was at war. By 1944, air raid drills were a part of the school day. When sirens shrieked, students took shelter. Ruth and her classmates helped the war effort. They grew vegetables in a victory garden to give out people during the war. They also chewed hundreds of sticks of gum. What did this have to do with helping? The gum was wrapped in aluminum foil. Students rolled the silver wrappers into balls. The balls were sent to factories that made parts for airplanes. Who knew? I had no idea. In addition to helping the war effort, Ruth started to notice some things about her world. She saw that some people were treated unfairly. Jewish boys were allowed to do more than Jewish girls, but most Jewish people were discriminated against. Many Jews, including Ruth's family, immigrated to America before the war. They hoped to escape violence and poor treatment in Europe. However, not everyone welcomed them. Once, while driving past a resort, Ruth saw a disturbing sign. "Look, Mama, it says no dogs or Jews allowed. Doesn't that make you angry?" Her mother shook her head. "Getting angry is a waste of time, Kiki." Because of moments like these, Ruth learned how to let anger go and move on. Ruth also learned how to keep a secret. When she was 13 years old, she learned that her mother was dying of cancer. There was nothing the doctors could do. Ruth never told her friends. Writing helped Ruth keep her mind off her mother's illness. She worked on the school newspaper. She was also the editor. Other students wrote about things like the school play and the circus. But Ruth enjoyed writing about the Bill of Rights and the Ten Commandments. At Madison High School, Ruth was known as a quiet but popular girl. She continued to write and work on the newspaper. She played the cello, and she was a member of the Honor Society. Ruth also belonged to the Go-Getters. It was a pep club for sporting and social events. Members wore black satin jackets. She sold tickets to the football games. She twirled the baton. Once she lost control of it. The flying baton clipped her and chipped her tooth. Ouch! Ruth's greatest sorrow was losing her mother. Celia died the day before Ruth's high school graduation. Ruth did not go to her graduation ceremony, but she knew she had made her mother proud. She won medals, she earned scholarships, she was going to Cornell University, one of the best colleges in the country. "Mother wanted me to study hard and get good grades and succeed in life," Ruth told a friend, and so that's what she did. And the afterward says, in the 1950s, Ruth met and married her Cornell University classmate, Martin Ginsburg. Ruth loved that he was interested in her ideas and thoughts. Both were accepted to Harvard Law School, but Martin was drafted to the military, and then he developed a terrible form of cancer. Ruth cared for him. The young daughter took law school classes. She had to fight discrimination in both the classroom and as a lawyer, and not everyone thought a woman, and a Jewish woman at that, could be a good teacher or a lawyer, but in the end, she triumphed. Martin survived, and her family thrived. So it goes on to tell about Ruth and how she became a Supreme Court justice. And the one quote that I want to read at the end for you is this. She said, "I try to teach through my opinions, through my speeches, how wrong it is to judge people based on the basis of what they look like, color of their skin, or whether they're men or women." So I encourage you to learn more about people that you may not know about. She was a very important person in our history, and this is a very interesting book. There are more books about her. If you don't know someone's story, ask. You don't have to ask them, but you can ask your family or parents, or you can do your own reading. Because when you learn people's stories, you learn about them and who they are and the impact they made on people's lives. I hope you have a great week. I love you and miss you. Bye-bye.